Hello, everyone, and welcome to Book Club Preview. I'm Michael, and today we're looking at The Son of Neptune, Chapter 1. This is a new book we're starting in the Heroes of Olympus series, and it just starts already being pretty exciting and crazy. So, in the last book, we were wondering what has happened to Percy Jackson, and so finally we get to see some of those answers. So it starts off with Percy running away from some snake-haired women, and these women have been chasing him and fighting him for I don't know how long yet. We learn later it's been at least a month, maybe more. I'll have it in the notes, but he's been killing them and running from them, and they catch him and he's killing them and he's running from them. They're even attacking him and scraping and biting, but his body is so strong for some reason, he doesn't even know why, that they're not damaging his skin. And he's been able to survive and to keep going. He's been just sleeping just a few hours every day because they keep finding him and they keep catching up to him. Well, he's killed them many times and they just keep coming back. They've tried to kill him and they can't. And so both of them are unkillable in a way, and they're just in this endless battle. And Percy tries to stop the fight, but they really want to kill him. And so Percy's afraid that if he falls asleep, those snake-haired women, they will find a way to kill him. So he just keeps running, keeps moving, and keeps trying to run away. Well, we get a clue here that Percy learned something from a wolf. And we can guess from the first book that this wolf is Lupa, because we can imagine that something happened with Percy and he's following like the Roman path or something. And Lupa told him to follow his instincts, or taught him how to follow his instincts. And so Percy likes water, especially salt water. He feels more energy being in the water. And so he's kind of in a San Francisco area, I think, and he's looking at the ocean. And he's like, oh man, if I could get to the ocean, maybe I could be safe. Or maybe I can get energy from the water. But something inside of him says that's the wrong way to go. He needs to go to this hill. And so he ends up climbing up this hill instead, because Lupa, or the wolf, taught him how to follow his instincts, and that instincts are important. And he's been doing that, and it's been keeping him alive. So he gets to the top of the hill, and he feels like he's in the right place, but he doesn't. There's nothing there, and he's looking out into the distance, into the ocean, and there's this cliff at the top of the hill, so it's pretty sharp down, and he can't just walk down. He's kind of stuck there, and suddenly he realizes, oh, I'm in the right spot, but I'm too high, and he needs to go down lower to get inside the tunnel to where the cars are going. And so he's looking, he's trying to figure out a way to get down. While he's looking at this, he kind of remembers what's been going on, and then we learn here that he's been traveling for 2 months. He started at the wolf house, or whatever we called it in the last chapter, where he woke up. He had no memories, of course. He only remembered Annabeth, and he had a pen that turned into a sword. That's all he remembers. And then Lupo was there. Oh, he was in like an orange t-shirt and stuff like that. And Lupa taught him how to survive for, I don't know, maybe a month. We don't know how long it was. But he's been on the run for a month or more, just trying to go on this path, or this test, or this trial. And it has not been easy for him. Well, the snake women finally catch up to him while he's waiting here thinking. And now there's nowhere to run. He's trapped on this hill. One of the snake women has like this silver plate, and on the plate there are these little snacks, and she keeps asking Piercy, "Do you want to try a free sample?" And she seems a little bit stupid, or foolish, or innocent, or naive. I don't know what you want to call it, but she's not that scary like a monster. She's pretty nice actually. And then her sister comes out, and her sister's really tough and mean and angry, and they want to kill Piercy. And we learn that the reason that they want to kill Piercy Jackson so much is because Piercy is the one that killed Medusa last. And all of the monsters that have been trapped in Tartarus are coming out, but Medusa hasn't come out yet. And so these are her sisters. I can't remember their names right now, but these sisters are after Piercy Jackson because he killed her last, and Piercy doesn't even remember. If you read the Piercy Jackson series, you might know. And maybe you can tell us when we're talking together if there's some interesting part. I don't know. No, don't tell me, because I want to read the series myself, and I want to get some. Well, sorry, and I don't want to have any spoilers. So we learn that Piercy was the one that killed Medusa, and that's why these two snake women are trying to kill Piercy so bad. Of course, their patron, Gaia, who also wants Piercy dead. But then we also learn the reason that they can't hurt Piercy when they attack him is because he has the mark of Achilles. And if you know the story of Achilles, when he was a baby, I think his mother dipped him into the river Styx, perhaps, and then he became invincible on his body, except for that tiny part of his heel where his mother held him. And in battle, Achilles was a monster. Like, he was just undefeated. He was an amazing warrior. No one could hurt him. But then someone found out to hit his ankle, and then he dies. And so Piercy has the mark of Achilles. I don't know what that means. If you read the previous stories, you might, but he can't be hurt. There might be one spot somewhere on his body that can be hurt, but so far they haven't found it. Well, Piercy starts to fight the snake women, or the women with snake-haired women, and he slices the mean sister in half, and then he takes the tray from the nice sister and he hits her on the head, and she falls asleep. He takes that tray and he jumps down the mountain, and so it's just like this. It's very, and he's just holding on to this little tray, going down the mountain. Vocabulary. So the first vocabulary word is gorgons, and in the way that they describe them in the book, I couldn't really find a picture for it, but here is an example picture of what they might look like. In this picture, the bottom half is like a snake, but in the book, the bottom part, the leg part, is like a chicken. But we can see she has like a wrinkly face and snake hair, stuff like that. The next expression is personal low. And this is when Piercy's talking about food that he's been eating, because he hasn't been eating very healthy. And he went to some fast food restaurant, and he ate something, and he said it was a new personal low. So in life, we all do things that we're not proud of. Maybe we stole a cookie from the cookie jar. Maybe we lied to our mom or dad or a teacher. And so we have this level that's low, and sometimes we do something even worse, and that's a new personal low. And so Piercy Jackson, he's eaten bad stuff before, but then going to this fast food restaurant and eating a taco, I think, it's like, oh, I must really be hungry or desperate, because this is like the worst thing ever, and he eats that. So we can say personal low or new personal low or something like that. Strangled. That means to can't breathe. Strangle. I can't remember what exactly he was talking about with this vocabulary word, but that's what it means, not able to breathe. Plummet. Plummet is to like just fall down without anything to hold on to. So on the cliff, it's just whoosh, it's just straight down. So he could plummet or fall. It just kind of means fall off, but it's very kind of a free kind of falling, not like sliding or rolling, just falling down freely. Riptide. This is the name of his sword. It has a Greek name, and it has an English name, and I think the English name is Riptide, or that might be a Roman name for it. I don't know. If you read the original series, you might have more information. But a riptide is in the ocean, and I believe that it's a current underneath the water, and when you're swimming, you can get caught inside and sucked underneath the water and down into the ocean, and they call that a riptide. Even if that's not what it is, I know that it's some dangerous thing that can happen in the ocean, maybe in a river, but more about the ocean. And surfers and swimmers have to be careful when they're doing that. Dyslexic. Piercy is dyslexic, and what that means is he kind of reads things backwards. So in this word, he might call it sick el dest, right? Reading it from the other direction, or mixing up the letters. It's just kind of a learning a learning disability that some students have. The letters just get mixed up in their brain while they're reading. If you ever notice, when I'm reading something, sometimes I'll switch words or I'll pronounce things wrong. That's because I am a little dyslexic. It's not severe, but I still have a hard time when I'm reading things. The next one is toting. Toting means carrying. The snake woman is toting her samples around wherever they go. And each time she tries to kill Percy, she asks him, "Would you like one? Would you like one?" And she's pretty funny. But she's carrying that around, toting it around across the country, fighting him. The next one is a front. Front means in like this part, but a front means something covering something else. So if you think of like gangsters, okay, if you see any gang movies or something like that, in America, like Italian gangsters, they usually have an Italian restaurant, okay? And so they hang out in this Italian restaurant. And yeah, there's a restaurant there. Usually there's food and there's a cook. But it's not really a restaurant. It's a meeting place for these gangsters. So they call it a front. It looks like a restaurant, but in reality, it's actually something a little worse than that. And so when Percy met these snake women the first time, these Gorgons, they were dressed like they were working at some store. And then when he saw them, they took off their costumes or whatever, and they started to kill him or try to kill him. So their front, their disguise was workers. Going native. This is another good expression. The mean Gorgon sister tells this to the nice one. going native means acting like the people that you're around. So, for example, if you took a vacation, and I'm trying to think, what would be. Let's say you took a vacation to Africa, okay? And you went and found some like tribal culture, and you were taking a vacation there. And as you were living with that tribal culture, you started to become like a native. You started to act like their culture and perform like their culture. If you went to Mexico and then you started acting like you were Mexican, or going to America and acting like you're American, maybe that would mean eating a lot of fast food and drinking a lot of soda. It might say, oh, you're going native, meaning you're becoming like those native people, whatever it is. And so the Gorgons are monsters, but the nicer sister, she keeps trying to act like she still works for this company that she worked for before, which is, she's really, really funny, actually. Whew, more vocabulary. Man, there was a lot. Oh, pout. Ooh, just like sticking your lip out and being sad. The nice sister kind of pouts, like, ooh. I can't remember exactly why. I think she offered some of the snacks to Piercy, and she said she put her blood in it. And we learned, some interesting stuff. I think if they have blood from the right side, it will kill anything. Blood from the left side will heal anything. And so she put some of her bad blood in these snacks, and she asked Piercy if he wants to eat one and die easily. I think he says no, and then she's like, oh, please. She kind of pouts. Maybe she pouts to her sister, but in any case, that's what it means. And then I believe the last one, oblivion. Oblivion just means like destroyed, poof, gone to dust. Oblivion, destroyed to the smallest piece that you can be, or turned into nothing. Oblivion. Oh, there was one more. Passed out. When Piercy hits the nice Gorgon on the head, she falls asleep. She passes out. And that's what that word means. When you when you're not controlling, oh, I'm going to go to sleep now. But it just happens. When you are asleep, someone can say, oh, he's passed out. Sometimes I'll use that expression with my daughter. I'll be putting her to bed quietly, and my wife will be like, is she asleep? And I'll say, yeah, she's passed out. She's completely asleep. Whew. All right, this has been a long chapter. Discussion question. I'm going to hit it really quickly. Have you ever had to trust your instincts? In this journey, Piercy has to trust his instincts a lot and follow where he's going. Has that ever happened to you? Have you ever had to just, oh, I'm going to do this, and just follow your feeling? What was it like? Of course, I can't say of course, but please make your own discussion question. As you're reading the chapter, think about something that you thought was interesting or a question you had, so that way we can all discuss it together. Well, that's all the time that we have for today. Thank you so much for joining me for this episode of Book Club Preview. Bye-bye. Hey, if you have any questions about the video today, please feel free to leave a comment in the comment section. If you had any other vocabulary words that you wanted to know what they meant, let me know. And also, if you're interested in maybe joining one of these book clubs, please leave a comment and I'll get back to you. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.